Well, hello and welcome to a Sunday Daily Dominion. It's the 4th of January, and we have the first campaign feature Sunday of the year. And yeah, this one has three things that are modified off the bat. For once, we have doubling the duchy pile, so we have 16 duchies to work with. Populate has a stamp saying it costs 2 less. And also we include the Pennies Saved crash heavy twist again. So let's hope our game doesn't crash this time. I think last time it appeared, our daily crashed midway through. And Penny Saved is this twist that allows you to end your buy phase and convert all of your money that you have at that point at the end of your buy phase to coffers. And this is a really, really powerful twist. I think some people experimented with it and just buying a gold and then skipping your turns until you can province or buying 2 golds just yields a, I don't know, 6 province in 15 turns thingy or so. So it's a rather fast money enabler. And if you then add some sort of draw, it's even faster. Although here this won't be the thing we're going to try to do because there is populate, and populate for 8 is pretty strong. Let me tell you. Populate says gain 1 card from each action supply pile, and I will show you the kingdom in a sec. But already, just for 8, gaining in this case 8 action cards is super nice. Although, to be honest, this kingdom isn't all too exciting, and yeah, doesn't spark too much joy actually. Nonetheless, yeah, the populate stuff is going to be pretty dominant here, especially with the pennies saved twist. Now you can read through the kingdom over here. We have 2 kingdom treasures in gondola and treasure trove. And both, I think, are mainly not worth it, just because Trove is too slow. You could open with it, you're guaranteed to hit 5 with penny saved on the first shuffle. And Gondola, I mean, sometimes you might want to play another action from your hand, but really apart from that, it's not super, yeah, impressive. Like the 2 now or next turn is not great. And also the actions aren't that great. Like there is Groom, of course, which is strong. Ninja is also strong. Merchant Guild in some circumstances can be strong, but nothing out of the ordinary, and especially with the absence of any sort of village and the absence of any sort of thinning, we are in for a junky game anyways, however we are playing it. And that makes it a bit interesting for sure. Now, Groom could gain us action cards and horses, but the action cards that could gain us are only Ninja and Groom itself, so that's not that great. There's no alt VP card costing up to 4 that would make a Groom rush viable. And yeah, I don't know. Mainly, it's probably going to pick up estates for us, since we are going to go for populate and thus get 1 or 2 grooms into the shuffle. Now, what is our strategy going to be here? Now, well, Merchant Guild synergizes with populate in a way that whenever you populate, you gain a bunch of cards in your action phase, and here you gain 8 cards. So having a Merchant Guild in play, you will get 8 coffers from buying populate, and coffers are great to close out the game as they, I mean, especially with penny safe, we're going to have coffers anyways, but they're great to close out the game and try hitting price points, and thus, yeah, they're going to be a nice thing to go for. The question is a bit how we play this. There is an opening play that is rather unusual in that you just save your pennies and enter the second shuffle with essentially the same starting cards and then go for populate very soon. Or you could go a more risky route and go for a merchant guild. And by a merchant guild, hope that you will gather enough coffers to hit 8 with the merchant guild, but you're not very likely to. So yeah, that's I'll discuss this in a sec. First, let's look at the kingdom plot and see that there's absolutely no thinning. As I said, lots of gains, some attack in Ninja. Ninja is going to be annoying, but due to the terminal space situation, not all too important, I think. Alt VP in distant lands, same situation. No real village. Gondola, of course, could play a distant lands from your hand, even if you already have drawn a dead. And something I forgot to mention is the arena landmark. And that one says if we have extra action cards in our hand, and at the end, at the start of our buy phase, we may discard one and then take 2 victory points. And this makes going for populate early on even more enticing, I'd say, because that means that even though you have a deck full of useless, more or less useless actions, you still get to discard them for victory points and they get to do something useful. And if you get your hands on populate early, then yeah, that's going to be nice. Now, yeah, that wraps up that discussion. The draw is also essentially non-existent due to the village situation. You could play a tragic hero, but yeah, it's not super great. And also you can't really pop tragic heroes to gain gondolas or treasure troves or golds, because you would need to increase your hand size first, and it would mean that, well, I mean, you can, if you want, if you so want to, you can, I don't know, play a ninja from your deck and then a tragic hero, and then it would pop. But for that, you would need to buy a gondola, which is not something that desirable. So yeah, opening wise, I think just playing your treasures, skipping your turns is best. And then, yeah, I mean, you could think of going for Merchant Guild on your second turn, but I like the populate route. And with that, I'd say we start this game, and I really hope it won't crash now. Last time we played with Pennies Saved, we crashed. So yeah, let's go for this populate here. I would say we just play this. We could go for a second merchant guild, but that is a bit risky, because if we see the merchant guilds early on, then I think early on in the shuffle we might not be able to hit populate, which would defeat their purpose more or less. So let's see where we go. And here, yeah, I think we just play the merchant guild and populate and retrieve those coffers and also improve our deck while we're at it. I think this groom just wants to play to gain an estate. And then there's a question of whether we want to play to the distant lands or not. And I think, what do we have down there? We have the Mystic, the Cartographer, and not much else, just junk down there. I would say we just maybe gain Gondola Silver and play this distant lands, or play the ninja actually. But yeah, no, getting 4 victory points here is pretty good. And also getting that distant lands out of our deck is nice. But now it has happened and I get an error. Yikes, there was an assertion. The log.txt file has more information. The cost of the parsed debt is 0. And thus the game is ending here. Well, it was a nice dream to believe that Pennies Saved wouldn't crash on us, but unfortunately it does. So yeah, what do? I believe we just set up the same kingdom in in a different environment. Let me restart this. You might be able to see weird things. Yeah, you had briefly saw my setup for the thingy, and actually, let me just. I think the daily will crash whatever we do. I can try one more time, but yeah, immediately we crash. Um, I will set up the kingdom in the view, and while that's going, I'll pause the video for you. And yeah, I'm back for you. No time has passed, but I have set up the thingy. If you want to know how this works, setting up like the twists and stamps and all that stuff, it's as simple as just entering -x twist pennies saved and so on. I've already done this and tested, and this will allow you to set up a new kingdom with the same features. But let's actually try to become first player and not have the AI go first, just so we recreate the conditions in the daily. Maybe I should have set this up as a campaign kingdom, but I haven't finished the Rising Sun campaign just yet. So yeah, let's go with that, but I forgot to disable shelters because there is a Dark Ages card in Mystic. There is a 10% chance, I believe, of rolling shelters, which we just did. But yeah, now finally we get to play it properly. And yeah, I think we're going for the same strategy. Hope that the game doesn't crash now. I have no clue why it crashes sometimes and why it doesn't. I really hope the developers figure that out. And man, I hit the populate there. I think we just play the distant lands in this case and discard the tragic hero, as we don't really want to draw our merchant guild dead. And oh wow, the game crashed again. Man, this is frustrating. Now we gotta try to roll another kingdom, and yeah, I really want to show off how to play this kingdom, but the game is making it kind of impossible to really showcase. Wow. Let's populate here, gain all. We are not getting attacked by ninja, which is curious, although AI opened with it. We're probably getting attacked now. And here we have two choices of either playing the ninja and discarding the distant lands for 2 victory points, or getting the distant lands out of our deck for 4 victory points, and I think that's better. So we end our buys here, get attacked once again, get to play the cartographer first, discard a bunch of junk, and play the mystic, knowing which the last card should be. And this time, yeah, we probably just wanted to draw the tragic hero as an action card to discard to arena. Note that arena and also gondola don't work with ninja, so you cannot discard a card to like you cannot discard a shadow card from your deck, and you also cannot play a ninja from your as if it was in your hand with gondola, as that's not how gondola is calling this. And yeah, let's wish for this tragic hero, play the merchant guild, discard the tragic hero, and populate, I think. And really hope that the game does not crash. Yeah, okay, this is great. We get to set up this mystic draw here, and even get to discard that. Set up more mystic draws, and I think these grooms just want to gain us some estates, or do we want to discard it? Actually, yeah, let's discard this extra groom, we don't really need it. Mystic for Mystic, Mystic for Merchant Guild. Go one card deeper into the shuffle and discard this ninja. And now we can double populate to just rack up a lot of coffers and yeah, I think that's the best course of action, and yeah, be left like this. Unfortunately, our other merchant guild misses the shuffle. At least we get to play a gatekeeper, get some more victory points from arena, and I think we just buy a province. And yeah, see how we go from there. Probably go for merchant guild, discarding whatever, and we can smuggle in one more populate. I think on average these cards. Oh no, we are under. This is actually amazing. We're under gatekeeper attack. I didn't realize. I also played a gatekeeper, and thus all of these cards we gain immediately go to our exile, which is, yeah, pretty funny. The distant lands is on the wrong match, so it doesn't yield VP, but yeah, I mean, Groom, Ninja, Tragic Hero, and Gatekeeper are also more or less junk cards, also the distant lands, so it's not too bad to have them end up there. Although, now, to be honest, thinking about it a bit more, it's pretty neutral as to whether, well, as to whether we would just buy a province or do this populate thing, because um yeah, because it costs 8 and yields 8 coffers, so we already have these 8 coffers, and thus we can just buy a copper to exile it and have one more coffers. Yeah, and this is looking alright. Let's wish for what would be the best thing to find here? Probably cartographer. The most likely thing is still copper, but it's a mystic, so I think we just go for a province with the mystic on top. Play a gatekeeper here, and probably buy nothing. The arena is off, so doesn't matter anymore. That kind of stuff. And yeah, we might lose this actually, because now AI doesn't have any. Why does it crash now? Man, the game just crashed again. But I don't think this was a crash because of Pennies Saved, so we can try to resume. Yeah, it was a crash due to Mystic, but yeah, this game is incredibly crash riddled. What is the best card we could find? Probably still the cartographer. And it's a groom, but we get a gatekeeper in play. And I don't think we should province, because if AI manages to just put a distant lands on the mat and province, then it could just end. And thus, yeah, we are likely to have some plus buy in there for double province if we just set aside this three money. And yeah, if the next crash, and I don't think this one is recoverable, and I think I'm going to call it quits here. Here we're deprived of seeing how this endgame plays out, but yeah, it crashes upon opening. Man, probably, yeah, this is a call to the developers to really fix this darn Pennies Saved crash. I mean, as you could see, it happened at least 3 times, and it puts the game into an unrecoverable state. I mean, let me actually reopen Dominion and try to show you the contents of our deck, or talk about the contents of our decks, although it's hard, and also see that we had the cartographer and mystic down here, and could for sure have double. I'm fairly sure that this cartographer would have revealed a plus buy card, which we could have then picked up with the mystic, and um, Well, we would have needed one more money, which we might have yielded from the groom gaining an estate and drawing one more card, like one more copper. I know we would have needed much more money. We would have needed the two from Mystic would be 12 plus yeah, so it wasn't even that guaranteed we would hit province there. But what we could have done was we could have played the groom to gain an estate to and also set up the turn in such a way that we would have been likely to province out. I'm not sure how many turns this was. I'm going to look back at the footage and see from there. I believe it was something around 11 or 12 or maybe 13 turns. I would say our draws were not all too great. I think with better draws in this junky kind of deck, you can go faster here than we did. But yeah, I mean, this is no fun if it keeps on crashing every other turn randomly, seemingly randomly. And yeah, I don't know. I hope you still enjoyed this playthrough somehow, even though I know we would have had 13, would we? Yeah, I think we're in the process of converting the 3 money we had on the last turn to coins, or did we only have 7 coffers before? Man, I don't know. Yeah. The crash completely got me out of it mentally. But yeah, I don't know. Sorry for this botched playthrough. I'm still going to upload this and going to try to provide my commentary and tips. But yeah, I can only wish for you to have a not crashing daily here. And with that, I will try to catch you in the next one. And until then, goodbye.